I'm getting... I don't know. I feel like playing Splatoon recently... I don't know. I don't remember how many maps are in this game. But if you told me there were only 4 maps, I'd believe you. I feel like I always get the same 4 maps. Mincemeat Metalworks, Mako Mart, the bridge, and like one other. I can't even remember what the other one is. And yeah, every once in a while I'll see one of the other ones. But for the most part, it's just those 4. Mahi Mahi Resort's pretty common. Like, I've literally only played Umami Ruins maybe twice since it was added to the game. I've seen the ship once or twice. Port Mackerel, that's come up a few times. But yeah, I feel like recently, and I'm just talking like the past like 2 or 3 weeks, it's just been the same few maps. So yeah. So here we are, back again. We got a bunch of stories to talk about tonight. You know, we're finally hitting that E3 season. Yeah, we're finally hitting E3 season. And there's one big thing that happens next week that I really do feel like is kicking it off. At least if I'm interpreting it the same way others are. Or at least, you know, if I'm interpreting it right. But yeah, we got a bunch of stories tonight. We got other things to talk about, of course. Don't have a big WIBE. I have not been playing anything. I mean, I've been playing... like one game. And I've been playing a little bit of Splatoon. And that's about it. So yeah, it's mostly a news show tonight, but that's fine. You know, we'll see how long we can talk about a 1-minute trailer. Didn't even see a movie. Didn't even see Fast and the Furious. For as much as I love the Fast and the Furious series, I didn't see Fast and the Furious 10. Next week. Next week we'll definitely talk about it. But I was just way too busy this week. So, yeah. Oh, we do have that to talk about. I should write that down. I actually didn't write that down. I just remembered something. But yeah, I've been playing Splatoon recently. On my, you know, it's the season is ending. So, as the season comes to an end, usually at the end of the season, I have 2 goals. One is to, you know, finish the catalog, of which I think we're at level 80-something, and the other one is to get S rank. So far, I've finished the previous catalogs. This is catalog, what, number 3? I finished the previous 2, but S rank, nope, I've always been blocked in A. And right now, I want to say I'm like 27 points away from having a chance to advance to S rank. Yeah, it's something like that, like 27-ish points. I don't know. I had a bunch of really great games of tower control. Like, I got with a good team and just won like 4 games in a row. And then the map rotation switched over to Clam Blitz, and I managed to win a game of Clam Blitz. So, yeah. So I had a really good run the other day. But we'll talk more about that in a little bit. I'm also working on some new gear, you know. Getting stuff like that working out. Slowly and slowly. Oh, gosh. So speaking of the end of the season, it was finally announced this week that the new season will be coming June 1st. So that's that's not next week, but it's the week after that. Right around the corner. And it's called the Sizzle season. Makes sense. You know, that's a logical name. So, let's go over what was announced. So they announced a new stage, which looks like a mall. Like, in some ways it reminds me of Mahi Mahi Resort, because the stage is surrounded by water. Which, I know it's Mahi Mahi Resort's not the only stage to have done that. But that's kind of what it reminds me of. But it takes place in, like, a mall, which there is a mall reference in another stage. I don't think it... Is it Mahi Mahi Resort? No. There's been a mall in a previous stage. But the new stage is called Barnacle and Dime. And yeah, it seems to, you know, follow the Splatoon format that we were seeing in 3. You know, hallways. Like, there looks to be some areas off to the side that you can go. But if it's like every other Splatoon map where we've had hope for, it's just going to be another hallway. But that's the meta they want, so that's the meta this game gets. You want hallways? By gum, you're going to get hallways. So yeah, that's kind of what we're looking at with that one. We did get a good overhead look on it, and yeah, it looks fine. But yeah, we'll see. It's impossible to judge stages. The other stage, that is a returning stage, is Humpback Pump Track. Now, if I remember correctly, people don't like Humpback Pump Track. If I remember correctly, it was the victim of missile spam. At least that's what I remember. Just like, you get 2 players with missiles, and the stage is just... It's a mess. But I remember thinking it was fine. My least favorite stage is still, Moray Towers. I hate Moray Towers with a passion. And I'm so glad it has not returned. I mean, time will tell. You know, Moray Towers is the Smash Bros. Representation. I know it's somewhere else as well. But, yeah, I hate Moray Towers. But we'll see. But no, I feel like I'm indifferent to Humpback Pump Track coming back. I don't know. I'm sure they're gonna, you know, like, there are some ways they could totally improve it. You know, add in some new inkable walls so that way it's easier to get back up. But I can guarantee you they're not gonna do that. I know how these games work. Right, like Port Mackerel, where they removed a bunch of inkable walls. Yeah, there's no way they're gonna add them to Humpback Pump Track. So, I have little faith in that one. So those are the stages. So we got some new weapons. We got our first new brush since Splatoon 1. Yeah, they did not add a single new brush in Splatoon 2. And this new brush is called the Paintbrush. You get it? Paintbrush. I've seen a lot of people say this is the Dynamo equivalent of the brushes. That it seems to have a slower startup time, but it looks like it hits heavier and whatnot. It's got a bigger ink trail, and you know that makes sense. Brushes. I remember when they revealed the brush for Splatoon 1, I was so excited because it looked so cool. The brush looked like such a cool weapon. And then I was just so disappointed. I just wasn't good at it. I was a little better at the Octobrush. The Octobrush was a little bit better. But now, this new paintbrush, I have no expectations for it. Do we know the kit for it? We might. I just don't remember what it is. What could be the new kit? Yeah, give me a second. I'll see if I can find it. Okay, that's not helping. I know the other weapons kit. Oh, it's got curling bomb, which I think is a good movement option. Yeah, I think because since it's got a slower startup lag and whatnot, it's not the best it could have gotten, but curling bomb's not bad by any means. It definitely has its uses, so, right, getting a good movement out of curling bomb's a good thing. And let's see what the other thing is. Oh, it has Wave Breaker. Which, also, again, has its uses. And we ran out of meat. I'm a decent enough fan of Wave Breaker. Okay, I honestly don't think that's a bad kit. Could it be better? Of course it could be. But, depending on how this weapons works, it's clearly going for a more supportive role, obviously. And I know supportive, rollers do not work. But honestly, this is better than giving it, I don't know, something awful like Reef Slider. Which brings us to the other weapon, the other big new weapon, the S-Blast 92. So this is so back in the day, okay, history time. So on the NES, you had the blaster, right? Or the N-Zap, as it's called in Splatoon. And there was the original N-Zap, the 95, and then there was the 98, which was orange, because the original was gray, and the newer one was orange. I had an N-Zap back in the day on the NES. It broke, probably. It worked fine, and then backstory, the tragic backstory of how I lost my NES, that I'm not going to retell because I've told it so many times. But they supposedly broke it. So, yeah. Not like I know 100% sure because I never got it back. But I've told that story before. At least 1,000 times. So, on the SNES, instead of making another, light gun, they instead made a fucking bazooka. And it was awesome. Did it actually work that well? I don't know. But it looked cool. And I always think of the Angry Video Game Nerd episode about it. Because, that's kind of cool. Yeah, did it actually work? I don't know. Or was it just another Power Glove? Because it totally might have been another Power Glove. But it looked cool, right? Bazooka for NES. I wonder, God, what would be a very interesting weapon for them to throw into this game? The light gun from the Wii. The Wii Zapper. Oh, that'd be fascinating. What would that would probably have to be just a normal shooter. But, oh, that would be interesting. We lost this one again. Oh, wow, we actually won one. But, so this weapon looks very interesting, this S-Blast 92. Because it's a blaster, so, your range blaster, your clash blaster, your Luna blaster, etc. and etc. But it has 2 modes. So when you're jumping, it has a short range mode. And when you're standing on the ground, it has a long range mode. I might have gotten those reversed. I'm pretty sure I got those correct, but I might have switched them up. Either way, it's got 2 modes. It's got a long range mode and a short range mode. Its blast, its burst, is a lot shorter. It's not the biggest, burst in the world. But that's basically how it works. It's got a long range and a short range mode. This has so much potential. The idea behind this blaster is very interesting. I can see so many ways to use it. And upon seeing this, I was like, oh, I might actually want to pick this thing up. Because blaster is a weapon that has interested me. But the problem is blasters have never been good in Splatoon 3. I mean, I think the Luna Blaster was okay at one point. I know the Luna Blaster dominated in 2. I want to say there have been other blasters. Like, I know there's only... What? There was one blaster that was good in this game. Or at least decent. Well, which blaster? It's not the... Was it the Clash? Not the Clash blaster. Not the... What was it called? The one... It's getting another kit in this update. I just don't remember what it's called. The... Oh, gosh dang. Whatever it is, I think... I don't know. Blasters have not been that great. So there was a lot of hope. Like, oh, is this finally going to be the good blaster in Splatoon 3? You know, it's kind of like how Brellas aren't good in 3 either. Like, nobody can use Umbrella. Especially not the one that we were just stuck with. I just realized their entire team is, rollers. That's not good. That is not... I mean, they could do fine, but that's not good. Gosh, especially getting 2 dynamos. So, this thing looked like it had so much potential. And then, just like the big swig roller before it, where it was like, oh, this weapon has so much potential, it was then instantly ruined by its kit. This thing's kit, it's got Reef Slider as its special. That's awful. Reef Slider is one of the worst specials in the game. Terrible start lag, terrible end lag. Of course, I still die to it all the time, but that's because I'm awful at this game. So it's got Reef Slider. Already not off, right, a terrible start. And then it's sub Sprinkler. Sprinkler is one of those things that you could take it or lose it, right? If it had like Sprinkler and, I don't know, what's a good sub? It definitely wasn't going to have Crab. But if it had, you know, let's just say Inkjet. Like, it definitely wouldn't have had that either, but let's just say it had Inkjet. Then, you know, maybe it could have been good. Then, you know, maybe this weapon could have been great. But giving it Reef Slide, like, it would have been usable, you know, even with Sprinkler. Because you can find uses for Sprinkler. But nope. That just kills it. Giving it Reef Slider. Because the devs want Reef Slider to be good. They keep, every update, they buff Reef Slider. And it's never enough. It's never enough to make it good. So, yeah. This thing is kind of, right, like the Big Swig before. Where it's like, oh, we're excited for this new weapon. And then it had fucking Vacuum and whatever the hell Big Swig had as a sub. It's like, yep, it's dead. So yeah, maybe we'll get lucky and get another kit. Because, as part of this trailer, we did see that some weapons are getting new kits. And one of those weapons getting a new kit is Big Swig. Yep. For the right, it was introduced in the 2nd season, and in the 4th season, they're giving it and the Splattershot Nova a new kit. Now, what is that kit? So the new Big Swig is called Big Swig Express. And we're pretty sure that new kit is Line Marker, which isn't great. If they had given it Point Sensor, that would have been fine. But Line Marker, which is a special I seriously forget exists. Like, I constantly forget that Line Marker is even in this game, because I can't think of a single weapon I have that uses it. Maybe one of the... Do one of the bows have Line Marker? I don't even remember. Line Marker is awful. It's... Or is it... It's called Line Marker, right? Whatever. It's sub, however... Or it's... So that's its sub, Line Marker. Or Point Marker, or whatever the hell it's called. Its special is, Rate. So that, you know, it's better. It's better than fucking Vacuum and whatever else it had as a sub. Did it have... It doesn't have Mine, does it? No, I think that's Flingza. Flingza has mine. It's better. So it's getting a better kit. Will this be great? I don't know. Because they did also, as part... Because when Big Swig came out, it wasn't great. Right? An awful kit ruined it. But it also just wasn't that strong of a weapon. They did, however, buff it a bunch. During the Drip season, I think. I think Drip season was second season. So, honestly, Big Swig Express might be good. You know, they buffed the weapon a bunch. They're giving it a better kit. I think this thing might be good. And they didn't give it Big Bubbler. They didn't give it Reef Slider. They didn't give it... I don't know, another terrible sub. They didn't give it Soda Stream. I don't know. This is better. I know we have other weapons as well. I know we're getting a new Splattershot Nova, which... See, they haven't revealed any of these kits, but we got hints at these kits through the video. I know one of the new weapons is going to have missile. Because right now, the only missile weapons I can think of are Flingza Roller and Gootuber. But I want to say there's a third weapon with missiles. I don't remember what that is, obviously. But... yeah, whatever it is, we're getting a third missile weapon. Or maybe it might be a fourth. So that's going to definitely cause some chaos. It's probably going to be the blaster, if I'm being honest. It legitimately, I think, because you can kind of tell what subs and special weapons get based on their ink consumption and how many points it takes to charge a special. And I want to say whatever the new Deco blaster they're adding, whose name I just don't remember. It's not Clash Blaster. It's fucking... I just know it's a Deco. Or at least I think the new one's called Deco. But I think we're getting a new dually set. I don't remember which sniper is getting... I know one of the snipers is getting a new one. Still no gold dynamo. I know we're getting a new tent umbrella, which that might also have the missiles on it. That'd be awful. I think there is another roller. I want to say there's a new carbon roller. No, that might not be right. I thought there wasn't, because we did get a new carbon roller. We got carbon roller Deco. But yeah, so there's a ton of new weapons, and they were all revealed in like cards. I don't know, do I still have the Sizzle season trailer pulled up? I don't know why I didn't look at this earlier. Oh, we got a new song in the trailer as well. I didn't talk about that earlier, but it sounds great. Oh, is it a... Okay, maybe that's what I'm thinking of. Okay, so we've got a Tentasorellobrella, custom dualies, light Tetra dualies, a heavy Splatling, an H3 nozzle node, rapid blaster. There it is. That's the one decent blaster in this game from what I've heard. And yeah, we're getting a rapid blaster Pro Deco, and that probably will have missiles. A Splatana Wiper, a Splattershot Nova, and the Big Swig Express. So there are some things in there, for sure. So yeah, tons of new weapons. Still no... I'm amazed there isn't a gold dynamo. That surprises me so much, that there is no gold dynamo. Because this is the 4th season. And gold dynamo, like, I know they're gonna ruin it somehow, right? Like, they're gonna give it... I don't know, they may be waiting until they re-add Bubble to the game or something like that. I mean, they added back in Kraken. They could add back in Bubble. Maybe that's what they're waiting for. Who knows? Literally anything is possible. So what else? We've been talking about weapons too long. There are other things other than weapons. We got a new salmon run stage, the Jammin' Salmon Junction, which is a collapsed freeway, and it's divided. So the stage is divided into like lanes, and there's like a spot in the middle where salmon can spawn out of, which seems very interesting. Yeah, it's called Jammin' Salmon Junction. So on top of them announcing this new salmon run stage, they did later announce that the next freaking big run is happening. So the next big run is going to be the June 12th, or June 10th through the 12th. It's written in my notes as June 12th through the 12th. That's wrong. So they announced that, and that's going to be at Urchin Underpass. And then they announced the next extra work is going to be on June 30th through the July 2nd. Which they did also confirm that, yes, they are adding in solo play for extra work. Is it going to make it easier? No. Will I probably ever get a bronze medal again? Probably not. But that is something, they did listen to people, and yeah, they are adding in a solo queue, which is a good thing. Because, I mean, we cheated a solo queue. But, you know, actually having one will mean more players and whatnot, so that's good. And then the final big thing they announced was so people have been asking, where's League Battle? Because that's been a big question. Where's League Battle? And we found out that it looks like they might not be adding League Battle, but instead we're getting challenges. And I say the reason they might not be adding League Battle is because the challenge logo is a modified version of the League logo. Like, they look similar. That's why I think it's a possibility that, no, we don't actually get League Battles back. Not that I ever participated in League Battles, to be fair. Because I don't think I did. But, yeah. So these challenges are they're special modifications of the game. Which I interpret this as getting us one step closer to custom battles. Because I know we have private battles, but what people really want is custom battles. So how these league battles work is you've got like special events. Like there's one league battle that was too many Trizookas. So it's everybody is using Trizookas while fighting. Another one was like moon gravity. It was called Extreme Jump Battle. So everyone can jump, instead of like, you know, jumping up that much, they can jump twice as high. Another one was foggy battles. So you know how like there's fog in the salmon run stages? That, but in like an online battle stage. And as far as I know, you can team up with your friends, or you can do this like solo and join a random squad. This sounds interesting. I actually do think, I'm sure some of them will suck. I'm sure some of these will be super annoying. But I do like this idea. I really do. The idea of challenges can be fun. And like I say, I think this leads us to customization. Which, again, I know private battles are a thing. But when I say customization, I guess I'm kind of talking like the Smash Bros. Custom Smash mode. You know what I'm talking about? Like, where you can like modify the different assets of the game. You know, you can turn on fire and metal and whatnot. Because that's kind of what moon gravity feels, or this extreme jump. Oh, it's like you're playing the game with moon gravity, or all Trizookas is infinite specials. So, right, I'm sure there's going to be one that has a crab tank. But the biggest hope of all of this, of custom battles, is custom kits. Being able to take a weapon you like and give it a custom kit in a custom sub. Only in that one specific mode. So, right, you can't use, like, like in a normal battle like this, you can't just take your favorite weapon, give it crab tank and, suction bombs and call it a day, and just make the most OP thing in the game. But in custom mode with your friends, Yeah, you can do that. I do really hope that's coming, because that's something people have wanted since the first game. And this feels like we're getting closer to that than ever. I have no idea how I killed that person down there. That would be... Custom kits would be very cool. In one specific mode. Okay, we had 2 disconnects. Okay, there's a 3rd disconnect. Oh, wait, I'm the only one left on my team. This is how the world ends. Soda! Do, 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 do. Yeah, sometimes this is just how it all works out. Soda. So, I feel like challenge mode has potential. Now, there is one thing that does suck about this challenge mode. It's that specifically, you can only do it during certain times on certain days. So, like, one of the challenges only ran from, like, 10 o'clock to, like, I don't know, let's say 10 a.m. to noon. That kind of sucks. You know, you only have these very limited windows to participate in these challenges. Let's see, do I have it somewheres in here? Let me see if I can find it real quick. The exact times. I think it was on the Blaster tweet. So yeah, so the new season will celebrate the start of the Sizzle season. There will be 3 play windows. June 2nd from 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. June 3rd from 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. And June 3rd from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. That kind of sucks. Only having these challenges... And I'm assuming that's just going to be the first challenge, right? Like, it's going to be Transzuka or whatever. Only running from that specific time... That's going to suck. But that's what they're doing, so, yeah, we'll see. I don't know. I feel like the mode has potential. I just think that the way they're executing it might ruin things, if that makes sense. Like, you could do cool things with it, but only having it run for... I don't even know if that's 12 hours total. That kind of sucks. And yeah, that's all the big Sizzle season stuff. The update comes out June 1st. So I've got 10 days to get up 10 levels. Or 20 levels in the season pass. Because I think, what, we're 81? It's possible. You know, since Season 1, I have not really been concerned with hitting the max level on the season pass. Like, if I do it, cool. If I don't, it's no big sweat off my back, honestly. I can totally do it in 10 days. It's just kind of tight. How I missed them so many times. But yeah, no, I'm still enjoying this game, you know. I'm sure, come back next week, and I might be completely jaded. You know, like, the last time the season ended, right, I was so jaded by the end of the season. But then I took a month or 2 off of the game. I took, like, a month off. Kind of. And by the time I came back, no, I was having a much better time. So that same thing might happen this time. You know, I legitimately have ruled nothing out. Because I've been around the block enough times to know a thing or two. So, the next story is... This is one that... Yeah, we'll just talk about it real quick. Pac-Man 99. You know, Nintendo did their Tetris 99. Everybody loved it. As far as I know, people still play Tetris 99. I don't know. I played it a little bit. It was okay, but I moved on to other stuff. Mainly because I'm not good at Tetris. Still do want to play Tetris Effect one of these days, though. I will do that eventually. But so far, that hasn't happened. Oh. But, you know, they made other 99 games. That Mario Brothers 99, that was shut down, what, like 6 months later? Or it was Mario Brothers 35. Stupid. You know, people really like that game. I didn't really care for it, honestly, but I know some people did really like it. And then the other one they made was Pac-Man 99. I'll be honest, I kind of forgot this one existed. Yeah, just being completely fair, I forgot Pac-Man 99 even existed. But Nintendo did make the announcement that they are shutting it down in October. So October 8th of this year, they are going to be shutting it down. I never cared for it. You know, the 99 games are an interesting concept. Pac-Man, Tetris, Mario. But they're just not for me. You know, in the Battle Royale craze, I would have thought that Splatoon would have got a Battle Royale mode. But that never happened. I feel like Fortnite is still super popular, right? Epic still has a hold in the industry. But I feel like the Battle Royale craze is kind of passing, and this one getting shut down after the fact is like, yeah, they aren't shutting down Tetris though, so for people who do like that one, hey, it's still there. It's just, you know, it's another live service game being shut down. I was thinking about that the other day because there's a rumor going around that Disney is going to be making a Smash Bros. Clone, right? They're going to be using their IP to make a Smash Bros. Clone. And my thought is, oh, well, it's just going to be another failure. You know, look what happened to... I mean, Multiverses is offline to go into full beta, but they did drop a massive amount of their player base. Nick, I don't hear anybody talking about that Nicktoons Battle Royale. One of the Brawlhalla, Brawl Stars, one of those games shut down. I think the other one is still doing fine. I think, did Rivals of Aether shut down? I don't know. Most Smash Bros. Clones, right, other than Smash Bros. And Melee, I guess, they all falter. And I came to the conclusion a while ago, and we talked about this, but I was reminded of it the other day, that the reason Smash Bros. Stays alive, and, you know, people are playing it, whereas nobody else is playing, right, Multiverses, nobody else is playing Nicktoons Brawl, nobody else is playing any of those other games that I just mentioned, is because Smash Bros. Put being a good game first, and making money and being a live service second. And in the video I saw talking about this rumor, they were mentioning like, oh, it doesn't matter if it's a good game, because, you know, Disney's just going to use it to make money. But that points out why it's going to fail. Smash Bros. Works because Nintendo put making a good game above making money. And they still made a shitload of money off of it. I mean, it's the best, Smash Ultimate's the best-selling Smash Bros. Game. And, you know, they charge for the DLC, which is basically, you buy the DLC, is the price of buying the game 2 times. That's why Smash Bros. Clones fail. That's why Mario Kart clones fail as well. Because they put making money above making a good game. There are some good Mario Kart clones, don't get me wrong. Those definitely do exist. But most of them are just shameless cash grabs. And they will never succeed. So yeah, this Disney Smash Bros. Clone, I have no faith in whatsoever. Like, it doesn't matter the IP there was a video on TikTok going around a while ago about some guy being like, oh, this is gonna be the death of the Pokemon trading card game. This is Disney's Lorcana or something like that. And it was like, no, you dumb fuck. Just because Disney owns all of this IP doesn't mean they're going to get anywhere close to touching Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! And Magic the Gathering's stranglehold on the trading card industry, right? Just because they have IP, that doesn't owning a property doesn't make people like every use of that property. So yeah, no, Lorcana is... honestly, because of that video, I feel like it's destined to fail, even though that's never going to happen. And yeah, this Smash Bros. Clone is destined to fail because they're going to make it a live service that nobody gives a shit about. And then people are just going to go back to Smash Bros. Because it's a good game that, you know, isn't asking you for all the money in the world. God, I didn't even put Overwatch on this list. I forgot to even mention that, mainly because I don't know all the details. But there's another live service game that's fucking dead. Because Overwatch announced that, or the Blizzard announced that for Overwatch 2, they're effectively canceling the PvE mode. I mean, there's still going to be something there, but like all these features they promised, no, they're just canceling them. It's a shell of what it once was. And because of that, it's doomed to fail. And yeah, I don't know why people are foolish enough to still trust these live service games. I can only think of a handful that have ever succeeded. And it's through sheer grit and determination. And, you know, being the first of their kind. I'm specifically talking Destiny 2 and Fortnite. Right? Fortnite was not the first Battle Royale, but it took a stranglehold on its ideas. And why play a different Battle Royale when you could just play Fortnite? And why leave Fortnite to go play Apex Legends when people have already invested time and money into Fortnite? Why start a new space shooter like like Anthem or fucking what was that game that Microsoft literally just put out, the one about hunting vampires? Or even that Suicide Squad game. What's the point of playing games like that when there are people, the people who like that style of game have already put a bunch of time into Destiny, right? They know what Destiny is. They've put a lot of time into it. They'll just go back to Destiny, right? These online shooters don't work because Destiny already exists. Well, Destiny 2 exists. And there's a reason they haven't made Destiny 3. It was foolhardy to make Overwatch 2. It was a very clear cash grab from a struggling Activision Blizzard who, was in the midst of multiple PR nightmares. So they announced that in Diablo 4. And I know Diablo 4 comes out soon-ish. I want to say it comes out in June. But no, look... Yeah, no, that was clearly just desperate narrative spin that sadly people bought. I never did, but I know plenty of people who did. Because, yeah, I played some of the original Overwatch. I couldn't even be fucking bothered to even look at Overwatch 2. Because it was so... Well, one, I haven't played an Activision Blizzard game in years because of all those PR nightmares they had. And two, I see through the lies. I knew what it was going to become. So yeah, fuck Activision Blizzard. But hey, it looks like they're going to be bought up by Microsoft, so I guess fuck Microsoft. Because I want to say the European Union has approved their... Right, the UK shut them down, but I think the European Union said yes? Something like that. It wasn't the US. I want to say it was... I don't know, I'm definitely mixing up people, but somebody said yes recently. Alright, next story. So we're actually going to go away from video games for a second. So, we're going to talk about comic books. So, if you have not been following Marvel Comics recently, and I don't blame you, because they're pretty fucking bad. Not that I've actually read any of these issues. This is all secondhand from, listening to people complain about them, and rightfully so. So right now, in the middle of the Spider-Man comic series, they started a new run a while ago. And it was like, it started off with this thing where it's like, Peter Parker has been bruised and beaten. Nobody likes him anymore. He's broken up with MJ, and MJ's dating this guy named Paul. And it's fucking awful, right? This new... It highlights the inherent problem with Peter Parker. Is that, well, first of all, with great power comes great responsibility is a lie, right? Like, for as much as they say it about the Spider-Man comics, at no point has Peter Parker actually ever lived up to that ideal. Because when push comes to shove, he doesn't actually take responsibility for his actions. And, of course, there's Marvel editorial that's like, oh, people like Spider-Man the most when he's at his lowest point. When he's been bruised and beaten down. And, you know, it's thinking that like that leads us to One More Day. So, yeah, we're basically in, you know, the next One More Day, the next Clone Saga. Spider-Man books, you know, Spider-Man's one of the biggest heroes of all time. He has so many fucking shitty comics. I know every comic hero has shitty comics, but god damn the amount of shitty Spider-Man comics. I'm a Batman fan. Who am I to judge? But yeah, so the modern Spider-Man run, right? MJ's dating this guy named Paul. They have kids together. It's just been awful. It's been an awful run. But because the whole secret was like, what did Peter Parker do to make everybody hate him? And last month, either earlier this month or last month, we finally found out what Peter Parker did. And it was nothing. He did nothing. Basically, him and MJ got trapped in another dimension. And then when Peter finally found a way to get them out, Paul, like, pushed him in or something. And, right, MJ basically stayed behind while Peter was sent back to Earth. So then Peter Parker betrayed all of his friends in order to save MJ. But by the time he found a way to get back to MJ and save her, oh, guess what? Right? Even though it was only like a few days for him. Oh, and also he worked with the Green Goblin at some point. I know that happened. Or Norman Osborn. Whatever the fuck. Stupid fucking comics. You know how it is. Since then, right, while it was only like a few days for him, it had been like 3 years for MJ. And it turns out even though the kid, right, Paul and MJ's daughter is literally just a carbon copy of MJ. Like they took MJ's face and just put it on a smaller character model. Yeah, no, they're actually like adopted, and this Paul guy's the real villain, and it's literally that he did nothing wrong. But they're, you know, assassinating MJ's character. It's been awful. The modern Spider-Man run is fucking awful. Do not buy it. Even out of just morbid curiosity. There's a reason I get all this stuff secondhand. Because it's fucking awful. And it's every problem with why people hate Spider-Man. Like, I remember when Spider-Man Far From Home came out. And a lot of people were like... No Way Home. When No Way Home came out. And a lot of people were celebrating, like, hey, look at this. Peter Parker is finally at his lowest point. Right? Everyone he loves doesn't know about him. He's dropped out of high school. He's living in an apartment with no money. He doesn't have any Stark tech. You know, he's finally at his lowest point. Because for some reason, one of people's big problems with MCU Peter Parker is that he wasn't poor and he was actually happy. And, you know, after reading these Spider-Man comics, or after, you know, hearing about these Spider-Man comics, not reading them, I haven't actually read shit, because I'm not giving them my money, I've come to the conclusion that those people are fucking fools. Right? People who, like, I get the idea that Spider-Man is supposed to be relatable. That, right, the average person, especially living in America, is poor. So Spider-Man being poor makes him more relatable to us. Whereas MCU Spider-Man, you know, he's not, like, swimming in the money or anything. He's not Tony Stark rich. But he's not poor either. He's middle class. And people just hated that. But no, looking at these new Spider-Man, I actually, having a middle-class Spider-Man that wasn't struggling to exist every day of his life actually was kind of refreshing. I get it. That's Peter Parker is poor. But if we're just constantly making this kid suffer for 60 fucking years now, at some point you've got to ask the question. It's his fault, right? Why aren't you doing anything about this? This is your fault, or it's Marvel Editorial's fault. I don't know. This is just another reason for me to defend the MCU Spider-Man. Because there's definitely... It's the different... MCU Spider-Man was interesting to me. Because it's millennials / Gen Z Spider-Man. Whereas, right, the original Spider-Man, who's a boomer, becomes Spider-Man because of what he lost. Right? He got powers... He abused them, he paid the price, and now he's going to become a hero as a result. Whereas MCU Spider-Man just became a hero because it's the right thing to do. Right? That being a hero isn't something you have to have like a tragic backstory for. Because it's just being a hero is right. I know that's very Superman, right? Being a hero, you become a hero not because of tragedy, but because it's the right thing to do. But I think it highlights the difference between millennials and boomers. Boomers become heroes because something terrible happened to them. Millennials become heroes because they see the tragedy in the world and want to do something about it. At least that's my interpretation of it. I'm getting so off point right now. So, the new Spider-Man comic hasn't come out yet. So, that was issue 25, where we found out Peter actually did nothing wrong. And with everything that had happened in that issue, mine and many other people's predictions had been like, oh, they're going to be killing off MJ. Right? They're doing all this work to assassinate her character. Usually, they work hard to assassinate a character before killing them off. Right? That's usually why you assassinate characters. You don't have to assassinate a character to kill them off, obviously, and sometimes they don't assassinate, or sometimes they do assassinate characters and then not kill them. Right? Sometimes they blow up a character's city just for them to decide last minute not to kill that character, and then still giving it Batman an excuse to use a gun because, they didn't actually think that far ahead, or plans changed last minute. Fucking Final Crisis. Or no, I mean, Infinite Crisis. No, Final Crisis has its own slew of problems. Oh, and there's a character assassination. Infinite Crisis has the assassination of Superboy Prime. Yep, where he just mercilessly kills a bunch of people. Yep, I remember that. But, so, they were doing all this character assassination of MJ. So, I was like, oh, they're gonna kill off MJ. That makes sense. That's where they're leading us towards. They're gonna kill off MJ. That's not what happened. Because the leaks have come out. And when I say leaks, this is stuff leaked by Marvel themselves. This is not something that some insider leaked. This was done by Marvel themselves. They intentionally leaked this to draw buzz. Again, we have no proof, but I'm like 99% sure. The big thing is that one of the two things that was leaked is a comic panel where you can't actually read any of the text. You just have the images, but you can't actually, you can't see the character's last words. You just know that that character died, and that screams leak, intentional leak. And then, of course, immediately after these leaks came out, Marvel did the official reveal, where they showed off, right, oh, here's the new comic panel, here's one of the panels from the issue. Because it turns out, as I keep beating around the bush for the past 10 minutes, they're killing Kamala Khan, Miss Marvel. Yep, in a fucking Spider-Man book. They're killing Miss Marvel. Now, she has appeared in this book, right? We're at issue 26. She has appeared in this book previously for maybe about 10 pages total. 10 pages between 26 issues, about 30 pages an issue. Yeah, you can do the math on that one. She's been in this book, just not very much. And some people were actually annoyed that Miss Marvel kept being dragged into this terrible book. But yeah, they're not killing off MJ, they're killing off Miss Marvel. And of course, she dies in Peter Parker's arms. And she's getting like a funeral book, right? Like the death of Miss Marvel. And who's at the center of the death of Miss Marvel book? Peter fucking Parker. Not Miles Morales, someone who could be at the center of this book. Her best friend, or at least one of them. Nope, fucking Peter Parker. Other people on the death of Miss Marvel book, I understand Wolverine, Carol Danvers, and Iron Man being there, right? Carol Danvers and Iron Man are mentors, and Miss Marvel herself in comics is a big fan of Wolverine. I know they've worked together multiple times. That makes sense. And then the other people in the book, Captain America in The Thing. There might even be other members of the family. I think at her death, like on her deathbed, right? It's Peter Parker and the Fantastic Four are also there. So it's like, what the I can't... I'm sure she has interacted with the Fantastic Four at some point. I know she was a member of the Avengers. Which, again, I think Iron Man being there is fine. And Carol Danvers being there are fine. Because she was on the Avengers. Until, Civil War II. And then she joined the Champions. But yeah, having the Death of Miss Marvel book without Miles Morales, with some characters she's barely interacted with, at least from what I've read. Because Miss Marvel is one of the few characters I have read. This is why I give such a shit about this. I don't read that many comic books, and I read way more DC than I do Marvel. But one of the, 3 Marvel books I have actually read is Miss Marvel. So that's why I care so much about this. That's why this pisses me off. Of course, they're going to bring her back. We all know it, right? That was the first thing people said is, oh, they're killing her off in the Spider-Man book, but they're gonna bring her back. And we have 2 very solid reasons they're gonna bring her back. One, she's got a fucking movie coming out later this year. There's no way they're gonna kill her off and then just not have her in comics for a while when her movie comes out. Because Marvel has this foolhardy idea that releasing movies with releasing comics with characters in them around the same time of a movie will sell more comics. It never does. Movies don't sell comics. And Marvel not advertising comics doesn't sell comics. Comics fucking suck. It's a mess. The comic industry is a fucking mess. Or at least the big 2. The big 2... There's a lot of good independent comics. Some in the aftermath of all this, I saw someone come out and be like, oh, you mad at Marvel and DC right now? Go read some independent stuff. And it got me thinking, yeah, I should go read Radiant Black, shouldn't I? Because that's been something that's been on my list for a long time now, is Radiant Black. But I've never actually read it. I've got a few other things as well. But, okay, semantics aside. They're killing off Miss Marvel. They're gonna bring her back because she's got a movie coming out. But the real reason they probably did this, because there's no way this was Zeb Wells. There's no way this was his idea, hey, let's kill off Miss Marvel. This was clearly... Zeb Wells is the writer of the book, by the way. There's no way this was his doing. This is clearly a Marvel editorial thing. Hey, we need to kill off Miss Marvel. Where can we do it? Oh, hey, we'll put her in the Spider-Man book and kill her off there. We're not in the Champions, which... And I know Miss Marvel hasn't had her own book in a while now. She's had a few specials here and there. But I want to say she hasn't had her own, solo run in, 2 years. It's been a while. But no, we're going to kill her off here. Because the other reason they're doing this is because in the MCU recently, they retconned Miss Marvel not to be an Inhuman, which is what she is in the comics, but to be a mutant. Now, the whole idea of Miss Marvel being an Inhuman has always been kind of one of those weird things for me, because, like, there was this time period, I don't know if a lot of people remember this, but around the time of the Fan-4-Stick movie, you know, the terrible Fox Fantastic Four movie in, like, 2014, Marvel stopped making Fantastic Four books because they didn't want to have books, right, for a company for a movie they didn't own. And Fan-4-Stick, right, Fantastic Four was owned by Fox, so they didn't want to make Fantastic Four comic books that would then promote a Fantastic Four movie. So they stopped making Fantastic Four books. And during that time, Marvel kind of scooted away from making X-Men the big thing. I mean, they were still making X-Men books, but they were more focusing on this idea of like, hey, well, since we can't use the X-Men in the movies, let's use the Inhumans. They replaced the X-Men with the Inhumans, which is where you get things like, remember that Inhumans TV show that was originally going to be a movie? I want to say that was Ike Perlmutter that was his idea, because, you know, he wanted to replace the mutants with the Inhumans. I'm pretty sure Kamala Khan being an Inhuman comes out of that. Like, if this whole, you know, Fox, Marvel, Disney thing wasn't going on, I think it would have made sense if Kamala Khan was a mutant. I think that would have happened. But it didn't. But now, guess what? Marvel owns mutants again. They can make movies with mutants. Kamala Khan is one of the first confirmed mutants in the MCU. So you know what that means? They can now they're going to bring her back. I have not been reading current X-Men. I kind of want to. I'm very curious about the whole Dawn of X, Krakoan Age stuff. And as part of the Krakoan Age, I know they have the ability to bring people back to life. So what I bet they're going to do, we kill off Miss Marvel here, and then sometime before November, they're going to bring her back on Krakoa with the Krakoan resurrection protocols as a mutant. And they're probably going to give her some new powers that more align with her powers in the movie. You know, her bangles that give her, like, energy absorption powers. Or, you know, it's possible that the movies might just destroy the bangles, and, you know, she's only going to have her embiggening powers. That's also totally possible. We'll see whichever way it goes. But they're definitely going to do some brand synergy here. No matter what, I think that's how this all turns out. So yeah, she's not going to stay dead for long. I think 6 months at most. It'd be crazy if they did any longer than that. Yeah, comic books fucking suck. I'm so annoyed at Marvel. It's a whole thing. But yeah, the modern issues, in the modern run of Spider-Man, and, like, I don't even know, right, they're killing off Kamala Khan next issue, which comes out the end of the month. Because, yeah, nothing has still come out, we've just got the leaks. They still have to, you know, they're still, Zeb Wells is still writing Spider-Man comics, right? We're still gonna have to get the reveal of what the fuck is up with Paul and MJ, and they still kill off MJ. My theory, and I know there's probably evidence that disproves this. My theory, though, has been that Paul is Peter Parker. That he's either an alternate universe Peter Parker, or he's, it's a Lars situation. If you remember the first Futurama movie, right, there's two Philip Frys. There's Philip Fry, who, you know, got frozen, and, right, for 1,000 years. And then there was Lars, who, you know, lived in an apartment in New York, didn't get frozen, grew up, you know, took care of Seymour the dog, and then eventually later on, after getting, like, injured in a fire or whatever, he did freeze himself, come to the future, and start dating Leela. I would not be surprised if Paul is somehow Peter Parker, but from an alternate timeline where, you know, he's a little bit older. Because MJ's now, what, 3 years older or whatever? I don't know, some bullshit like that. That's my theory on what's going on. Is they're gonna pull a Lars from Futurama somehow. Or, you know, he's just an alternate dimension Spider-Man. Because there are a lot of alternate dimension Spider-Men. I mean, Across the Spider-Verse comes out in like 2 weeks. I'm so fucking excited. I'm so excited. The comics may be shit right now, but that Across the Spider-Verse movie is gonna be great. God, I hope so. You know, the comic where everybody fucking hates Miles Morales because he can actually hug his parents. Because he is actually happy. It's a fucking mess. So yeah, don't read the modern day Spider-Man run. Fuck Marvel Comics for killing off Kamala Khan. And just thinking they can get away with it. God, what a fucking mess. Okay, let's move on. So, Tears of the Kingdom has been out a week now? A little more than that. And Nintendo released some sales figures. The game has already sold 10 million units. Yep, in a week's time, it has already sold 10 million. I want to say Breath of the Wild, as of right now, is somewhere at like 20... somewhere between 25 and 30 million units. So we're already a third of the way there, at least. And it's just going to keep going up, you know. I could easily see this meeting or surpassing Breath of the Wild. I don't know. Everybody seems to love the game. I'm, 10 hours in, and I'm really enjoying it. But I still have so much more to do. But yeah, 10 million sales figures, not surprising at all. It's a great game. It's a great game. And I've done, nothing in it. That's the crazy part. I don't know. And then, I'm still trying to avoid spoilers, but I keep seeing videos of people torturing Koroks, and they're just so... People making I know there was that one crucifying Koroks, but I've seen so many crazy things since then. So many other... someone made, a wheel of Koroks, and then just set up a bunch of flamethrowers. You can't actually hurt them, but it's super entertaining. People fucking hate Koroks, and I get it. There's 900 of them after all. But yeah, 10 million sales. This is... The Switch, I know we're always talking Switch Pro. When is the end of the Switch's lifespan, all that. But it's clear the Switch can still sell games, right? With huge games like this. I get it. Of course, now the worry is, though, what else does Nintendo have planned this year? Oh, of course he hit me. Because the rumor is that this is it for Nintendo. They've got Tears of the Kingdom is their one big game, and they're holding everything else until the Switch Pro or whatever the new Switch is, the Switch 2, right? Whatever they end up calling it, that's what they're waiting for. That's the rumor at the moment. And yeah, I can see that. I can totally see that being a thing. Because, they kind of held out on the Wii U to make sure that the Switch was a success at launch. So Nintendo potentially holding out on the Switch at the end of its life to make sure the next console is a success. It's a very logical thing. Of course, we'll see how that all plays out, but that's what it's looking like. I know we still have plenty of games coming up, right? Pikmin 4 is in July. But, I don't think we're getting a new Donkey Kong game that's rumored. Mario Odyssey 2. I don't think that's coming anytime soon. Oh yeah, I forgot I had this. Yeah, it's okay. So yeah. So speaking of things that are happening and not happening, Actually, wait, no. Let's talk about the PlayStation thing first. That would have been a better segue. So, So E3 is coming up. Or, not E3, Summer Games Fest is coming up. It's in July. And you know, PlayStation hasn't been a part of E3 / Summer Games Fest. I mean, they've had a small presence, but nothing major. So there was the question, like, is PlayStation even going to do anything? And it looks like they are. And it's next week. Yeah, on the 24th, PlayStation is doing a showcase. So it's Wednesday the 24th, 1 p.m. Pacific time. They're doing an hour-long showcase that will focus on PS5 games and PSVR 2 games. That's interesting. This is their, as far as I'm concerned, this is their E3 showcase. Because, we supposedly that new Spider-Man game, which I am excited for. Spider-Man comics suck, everything else doesn't. That new Spider-Man game is supposed to come out in like October, supposedly. That's supposed to be right around the corner. And outside of that initial reveal trailer and the comic book we got for Free Comic Day earlier this week, earlier this month, I mean. It was like 2 weeks ago now. We know nothing about this game. So actually, it's finally time we get like a big reveal. So I would love if a good like 15 minutes of this showcase was just about this new Spider-Man game. Because I'm super excited for it. Because I liked the PS4 Spider-Man game. I loved Miles Morales. Right, that was great. And we know this new game's gonna have both Spider-Man and Miles Morales. And it looks like we're getting hints that the Hood is gonna be in this game. Because that prequel comic, that Free Comic Book Day comic, had the Hood in it. There were other... Oh, who was the other character? There was another new character as well. Who wasn't in the first game. It was the Hood, and it was... I don't know. And then, of course, there's all the Venom stuff as well. And Kraven the Hunter. And who knows what else we'll get. Are we going to get Mysterio finally? I would love that. Are we going to get Kurt Connors? I would love that. There's something about MJ. Was MJ... In the prequel comic, was MJ... Did she write a book? There's something... I think J. Jonah Jameson bought back his newspaper or something like that. So that's going to be a thing. I don't know. There was a bunch of stuff. All of which, I'm excited. I'm excited, and I hope there's a lot of stuff to do. I hope... Because part of me is worried about it being the same overworld again. Right, we're just back in New York City. But, to be fair, Tears of the Kingdom uses the same map, and they did a lot of new stuff. But I don't know how much new stuff you can do in New York City without, like, some sort of drastic overhaul. So we'll see. But okay, so that's a big thing. I would love, for PSVR 2, I would love to see Half-Life Alyx. Because Valve has put their games on other systems, right? Most famously, the Orange Box. But Valve has done other stuff in the past. The PSVR 2 really needs a killer title. Horizon Call of the Mountain was fine, but that's not selling systems, it looks like. And PSVR 2 really needs a price cut, but I doubt they will announce a price cut here. Especially when they just released in retail stores like Best Buy and Amazon recently. So there's no way a price cut happens. But getting Half-Life Alyx on PSVR 2 would be a huge step. That's really something they need to do. So I would love to see that. Do we know what has Sucker Punch announced their next game? I don't know if we know what that is, but I could see Sucker Punch being there. That would be... Because I feel like Ghost of Tsushima was a while ago. Insomnia... There's that Wolverine game, but admittedly I don't expect much. I think that picks up after Spider-Man. So that'll be like a next year thing. What else? We'll talk about Mortal Kombat here. That's one of the stories we have to talk about tonight. I would not be surprised, though, if we see the first gameplay of Mortal Kombat at this PlayStation Showcase. Might also be at Summer Games Fest, but I would not be surprised if it's here at the PlayStation Showcase. Probably something to do with Street Fighter as well. I know Street Fighter, it comes out sometime in June. I don't know. I think the beta's going on right now. I don't know. I haven't played it, and I probably won't. But I would not be surprised if that's here, because Street Fighter's just showing up in everything. Call of Duty would be... Have there even been any rumors about the new Call of Duty? And I would see that as a Summer Games, like just being in the Summer Games Fest show. Have there even been... Are we even getting a new Call of Duty? I feel like with all the Activision Blizzard stuff, right, with the Microsoft thing, I feel like Activision Blizzard could just rest on their laurels of the Battle Royale game and just call it there. Because people do like that. Because I know people are still playing that Battle Royale game. I do not remember the name of it, because I don't give a shit. What else could be? Yeah, the real thing is, I think because it's been a while since Ghost of Tsushima. Was that during the Panny? I want to say that was. So it's been, so they could announce their next thing. I know people were talking about a Last of Us multiplayer game. I don't think that's gonna happen, but it could. I know that has been announced. I just don't think that's until next year. Like, that's a late next year sort of thing. Definitely not anything from God of War. There is that Twisted Metal show coming out. And it would be interesting to see a remaster. Or even just a new Twisted Metal game in general. But I feel like a remaster would make more sense. But I don't think that's going to happen. Bloodborne PS5 / Bloodborne PC port. Possible, but I don't think it's going to happen. Or I don't, it's possible. People, that's one of those things that people are just constantly manifesting. Like, if we say it enough times, it'll come true. Yeah, I guess that's one way to look at it. So, yeah. Any other predictions? I don't have any thoughts for VR. Like, they can do whatever they want on VR. I'd love to see something cool, but other than Half-Life Alyx, no. And I just hope they don't spend too much time on it. Get a few good announcements and then just call it there. What's the studio that does Dreams? Because I know Dreams has ended development. Like, they're not going to be updating the game anymore. I don't think the servers are shutting down. I just think they ended development. But I don't think we're going to get anything new from them for at least another year or two. But if anyone's working on a VR game, I could see it being them. There's all those studio... Because I could see Destiny being there, because doesn't PlayStation own Bungie? So, showing whatever new thing Destiny's doing. I don't know. Oh, there was that one studio that they bought a while... this was like a few years ago. That they were working on stuff that we might finally get. It's not the Initiative. I don't remember. I don't know. PlayStation bought a few studios that, we could hopefully see more from. Yeah. But hey, I'm excited. I will probably not... See, the problem is, I want to stream it. If the showcase was an hour later, I would say right now we are 100% streaming it. right? If it was at 2 p.m. Pacific time, but the fact that it's at 1 p.m., that's like when I get off work that day. So and then I'd have to run home. It's an hour-long showcase. I don't know. Maybe I'll just avoid any like spoilers for it, and maybe we'll talk about it afterwards. You know, so I might do a live reaction. It'll just be an hour late live reaction, but that might still happen. I don't want to make any promises, but no, it is a possibility. Yeah, I don't want to write anything off the table yet. So yeah, we'll see. Okay, so now on to the next thing. So, earlier this week, the Pokemon Company put out a tweet that was like, hey, for all of you who've been patiently waiting, Pokemon Home integration for Scarlet and Violet is finally coming May 24th. The same day as a lot of this other stuff. And, you know, people were excited, because the Pokemon Company said that home integration was coming in early 2023. We are past early 2023. We're now in mid-2023. I mean, yeah, we're definitely, like, April is kind of stretching it for early 2023, but May definitely is in early 2023. We're definitely in mid-2023. So having that, right, it was like, okay, but, you know, even with them being like that, it was like, okay, you know, whatever, it's fine. They're getting it out before the end of May. Okay, fine, sure, whatever. You know, there's no point in really complaining about it. I guess I'm just happy for Joe Merrick, finally, right? People will finally stop yelling at him to tell us when it was happening. Good for them. So that was the announcement on, I don't know, let's say that was the announcement on Wednesday. Then on Friday, so 2 days later, they were like, oh, the Pokemon Company put out a tweet where it's like, we have to apologize. We put the cart before the Mudsdale. And no, this new home integration will not be coming out on May 24th. We do not have a new release date. So there are a number of things that could have happened here. The first one, and the most obvious one, is that somebody fucked up somewheres, there was a break in communication, and someone put out the tweet too early, right? Like, maybe it comes out, like, June 24th, but wires got crossed and somebody thought it was coming out May 24th. I think that it was just some fuck up along the chain. How nobody noticed for 2 days, I'd have no idea. But I think that's the most logical explanation. The second explanation is that they were planning on having it out on the 24th, and they ran a test, you know, either like Wednesday, Thursday, or even Friday, and it just didn't work. Like, they found some sort of, like, major bug that just, like, broke everything, right? Maybe it, like, deleted people's accounts, just something massive. And they were like, oh shit, we can't release this. Right, so a level head prevailed, and they were like, nope, we're not going to release this. So then they put out that tweet, and the reason we don't have a new release date is because they just don't know how long it's going to take to have that bug fixed. I think that makes sense as well. Maybe there was some sort of, like, disconnect along the way, like, maybe, like, getting, like, approval on, like, the Google Play Store or the Apple Play Store. Maybe there was some sort of problem there. Honestly, my favorite option is option 2, right? That they just found some massive bug. And that's why it takes definitely the least leverage off the Pokemon Company. Because, you know, shit like that happens. But yeah, this is so fucking random. Just to announce the thing, and then 2 days later be like, nope, never mind. It happens when it happens. But I do hope when they fix it, it's more of just like a shadow drop. Like, hey, guess what? It'll be here tomorrow. Or hey, guess what? The update comes out later today. That'd be nice. But there's no way that's going to happen. Yeah, I've no idea. event. You know, I'd like to hope eventually we'll find out what happened on behind the scenes, but this is just completely random. Of course, it's another in a long list of why people don't trust the Pokemon Company. You know, someone, you know how, like, No Man's Skies came out, and someone made a giant spreadsheet of, like, every lie told by Sean Murray in the lead-up to the release of No Man's Skies? I bet somebody has one of those for the Pokemon Company. Like, a list, just a giant spreadsheet of every misdeed committed by the Pokemon Company since Sword and Shield. You could probably date it back longer than that, but I can guarantee you people have it back to at least Sword and Shield. So, you know, I'm in no rush to do it. Honestly, the next thing I'm waiting for Scarlet and Violet is the DLC. I really having home integration really doesn't do much for me. Like, oh woo, I'll be able to take my Pokemon from Sword and Shield, but that doesn't really matter. I'm waiting for the DLC. Hopefully, finally getting my favorite Pokemon, Meteor, back in the game. Supposedly, he's back. And I use he because I think the one I had in Sun and Moon was a male. That's the only reason I use he. So yeah, we'll see. We shall see, but Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, you know, people have waited this long, they can wait longer, but it's just really weird for them to announce it and then unannounce it. It's very unprecedented. So next up, Mortal Kombat. So they had been hinting that, hey, we were going to get a new Mortal Kombat. It was originally, you know, internally spoiled by Warner Brothers. But they did finally, you know, they did that teaser a little while ago. And now finally they did a showcase direct thing. They showed off a story trailer, kind of. Where, you know, it's all about like, oh, you know, the more things change, some things always stay the same. That being Mortal Kombat. Okay, I'm definitely mixing up songs there. But yeah, so we got a new story trailer, and, you know, you see, you know, classic characters you love, your Raidens, your Katanas, your other characters. I know there's some new, I want to say there's somebody new in there. And they're calling it Mortal Kombat 1, which, I get it, this is a soft reboot, or a hard reboot, I guess you could say. Because, you know, Mortal Kombat lore has become very complicated. 11 games in, they've done a lot, so I get wanting to kind of, you know, simplify things again. Like, I get that desire. But, it's just, bad naming traditions, right? At least they didn't just call it Mortal Kombat. Because there technically never was a Mortal Kombat 1. There was just Mortal Kombat, and then Mortal Kombat 2, and so on and so forth. I don't think they were all numbered up to 11. Like, I don't remember there being a Mortal Kombat 7. There might have been. I just don't remember it. You know, it's kind of like Mario Kart. Mario Kart only started numbering the games at 7. But yeah, they're rebooting the franchise. It makes sense. Now, the big thing for me, anyway, is Mortal Kombat's fine. I think whatever the franchise. But someone once described the DLC... For the past, 2 or 3 Mortal Kombat games, they've had some crazy DLC characters. And someone described it as, it's like Smash Bros., but if all the characters were picked by your dad. And that's definitely a statement I agree with. Right? Because, you play Smash Bros. And people, right, gamers play Smash Bros. And they want, Joker and Sora and other characters that make sense. Right? But if your dad were to be like, hey, you could pick any character to add to this game, who would you want to add? Your dad would be like, add in the Alien and the Predator. Add in the T-1000. right? Shit like that. So I do totally agree with the statement, right? It's Smash Bros, but the characters were picked by your dad. I think Freddy Krueger was in one of them. I know Jason was as well. But so supposedly there is a list of characters that was leaked by Amazon. And you get some really interesting characters on there. The two I am, of course, most interested in are Homelander and Omni-Man. Now, Homelander, I think, is a perfect fit for Mortal Kombat, right? Because he is your gruesome, your violent character. I think he's a perfect fit. So is Omni-Man. Because you know, when this game was revealed, right, a while ago, like, they were like, hey, there's a new Mortal Kombat game. There were people saying, like, hey, they should add Homelander to it. And for a second, I thought there was a possibility that NetherRealms had been bought by Amazon Studios, who, you know, do the Invincible show, they do The Boys. But no, as far as I know, they're still owned by Warner Brothers. And Warner Brothers hasn't been bought by Amazon. But no, I think Homelander makes great sense. I think Omni-Man's a good fit. I know there are other DLC characters as well. Ermac is rumored to be in there, which, you know, kind of sucks he's not in the base game. But, you know, people like Ermac. The story behind the origin of Ermac is always a great one. That, right, he was a rumor in a video game magazine, and then they just added him in. That's great. Mortal Kombat has always been, or at least back in the day, they were good at shit like that. Like, oh, things like Reptile and Ermac, and there was another character like that as well. I know Street Fighter also did one as well. God, the early days of video game rumors. You know, the internet was young, video game magazines ruled the press. Not really, but they existed. There was some cool shit back then. We're fighting one down, and oh god, I'm trying my hardest. But yeah, no, we didn't get any gameplay of this new Mortal, right? We just got the story trailer, but I think we are going to get gameplay either at Summer Games Fest or at the PlayStation Showcase. You know, for fighting one down, that was very close. I could see either of those events. I think the PlayStation Showcase is more likely, but if it's not there next week, then it's 100% going to be at Summer Games Fest. I don't think it's going to be at the Xbox Showcase. That's less likely. And of course, there are other showcases as well coming up. God, I hope Nintendo announces something soon. I hope so. Yeah, no, it looks fine. You know, we got a new Street Fighter coming out. Oh, and what was its release date? It's like September something. Oh, September 19th. Yeah, that's a super quick turnaround. Man, that's a little over 3 months of a turnaround between official reveal and release. I like that. You know, I don't give Mario and Rabbids enough credit. Because that's one, like, of that and Fallout 4 are, like, the two modern games that I think of that just have, like, oh, we're gonna announce them, and then, like, 2 weeks later, or then 2 months later, they're gonna be released, or 3 months. Because Fallout 4 was announced in, what, July, or June, and released in, what, October, November. Mario plus Rabbids revealed in June, released in August. Yeah, sometimes you don't need years of wait, right? You don't need fucking Starfield wait, or God, Elder Scrolls 6, which has still probably got another 2 years on it. Where I live, there's so much smoke in the sky. It's dark. The sun is dark red. So let me think. Sky, dark red. You're either in California, or is Arizona on fire this time of year? I don't know. You're definitely somewhere on the western United States. Either that or you're in Australia. Because Australia is always burning down. Yeah, I had that but yeah, no, I had that last year. with the sun turning red. This is the smoke. Fire notices. So our last story for tonight is Five Nights at Freddy's. Well, outside of WIBE, of course, our last news story. We finally got a trailer for Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach Ruin. So I've talked about Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach before. It's one of those games that I have had so much fun with, even though I have never played it. Because it is not a good game. Security Breach is not a good game. But damn, is it fun to watch. Speed runs, challenge runs, stuff like that. The challenge run somebody did where he tried to beat the game without encountering a single glitch. Super entertaining stuff. I think that was Backseat Gaming. I don't know. It's been a lot. I've talked about Astral Spiff in the past, who does security, who did security. He was a speed runner who did challenge runs. Super entertaining. It's a game I've had a lot of fun with, even though I've never played, because again, it's not a good game. But we finally got it. Its DLC was announced, I don't know, probably like a year ago, and it's finally coming out in July. And this new trailer shows they're reusing their assets. So we've got the Pizzaplex back, but they've made it look all decrepit and destroyed. And we've got the animatronic, Roxy, Chica, Montgomery, Monty. But they look like destroyed. Like Monty's lost like all of his coloring and he's just like an exoskeleton. Roxy's entire face is falling off. Chica looks worse than she did in Security Breach, but honestly not by too much. There's, you see at one point Gregory puts on the mask. Oh, Alberta. Okay. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Alberta. Yeah, what, 86? Yep, I'm sure down here in the great state of Texas, they'll start up anytime soon. Probably within the next month or so. I don't know, we've been getting a lot of rain right now. Like, it was raining earlier today, so maybe I've got a while. But yeah, no, Security Breach. I think I will actually probably play. That is kind of one of those things that I might actually play. Like, we might do on stream sometime over the summer. That is definitely something, because I know it's a bad game. But, you can have fun with bad games. And yeah, for every Markiplier playthrough, there's a Daco playthrough, where they have a lot more fun with it. Wildfires in the West, political protests. Oh yeah, the Canadian truckers convoy. Yep. The Queen of Canada. Yeah, I follow enough Canadian politics. But no, I'm actually kind of excited for the Security Breach DLC, if only because it's going to make some interesting YouTube videos. That's what it really comes down to. Is I'm excited to see people play it on YouTube. Because I know they're going to do some funny stuff. Because the game is definitely going to be buggy and broken. And, buggy and broken is entertaining. You don't want a game to release buggy and broken. But, people can find fun in that buggy and broken. Right? Like I said it before, Fallout 76 used to be that game. Like, it's the most fun I've had with a game that's both really bad and that I've never played. Because Fallout 76 was super entertaining as well. Right? I've seen that Joseph Anderson videos more time than I can count. But Security Breach is just bad. But yeah, I'm excited to see people play it. Whether that be Markiplier or Astral Spiv. Not really. I don't really watch Daco. Yeah, no, not really. But I know people make a, people find fun with it. So yeah, but yeah, that comes out, in 2 months. That's not bad. There were some people who thought it was going to be June, but no. So, with that, I guess that takes us to WIBE. So, what have I been playing? Game Grumps played Sonic Boom. They played through just... Yeah, there's another great example. Game Grumps playing Sonic Boom. Those, like, first few episodes, where, especially the part where, is it Barry goes back and reviews, like, the intro cutscene and just points out how broken it is. Oh, that was super entertaining. But yeah, them learning the infinite height jump with Knuckles. Yeah, there's another great, terrible game that was just so much fun to watch. They broke that game so hard. Skipping everything. Oh my gosh. Ah, classic memories. So what have I been playing? I've been playing Splatoon. As you can see, I'm wearing a new shirt, right? I switched off because I wanted... One of the things I've been wanting to do for a while in Splatoon was I just wanted a shirt that was kind of an all-rounder shirt, where it didn't have, like, you know, most gear in the game focuses on like one ability. Like, oh, right, like my glasses are all focused on bomb up. My shoes are all focused on speed up. But you know, there are some abilities that you don't need 3 chunks of. 1 chunk is fine. And so I've been wanting to make a shirt that had a bunch of those, like, 1 chunks. And I felt like, okay, so quick respawn was a good all-rounder. That, you know, is good to have a major chunk of. But then, right, quick jump, quick super jump, ink resist up, and bomb defense up were all, like, abilities that it's like, it's nice to have 1 sub-slot of them. But you definitely don't want a main slot of them. Like, you never need a main slot of ink resist up. At least in my experience with this game. So I've been wanting to make the all-rounder shirt. And, you know, on my quest to S rank, I've been playing a lot of games. So I was like, you know, I might as well just make the all-rounder shirt today. Or, well, technically it was yesterday. I finished it today. Right? We finished it on stream. But I finally did it. I made the all-rounder shirt. There's like 1 or 2 other... I'll probably make a second all-rounder shirt that has a few other abilities on it. Like, is it Special Saver or Special Recovery? And there's like 1 other ability as well that you want on an all-rounder shirt. I don't remember. So, but yeah, you know, you switch between the 2 and you just find what works. Oh, Special Saver and Sub Power Up. You never really need a main ability of those. Or at least that's definitely how it was in Splatoon 2, if I remember correctly. Yeah, I definitely, you know, new season starts in a month, and I definitely have to make new gear, because I'm probably going to pick up a new, you know, every season I try to pick up a new weapon. Doesn't always work, but I always try. There's always room to try. So, I'm gonna, you know, with this new season coming out, I'm gonna try. What am I gonna pick up? I have no idea. Honestly, I still, you know, right now I'm in no... Because the villain arc never happened. As much as I joked about it, the villain arc never happened. So I'm probably not gonna pick up Splooshomatic, or whichever one has Crab Tank on it. Probably not gonna pick that up. I might pick up Sloshing Machine. I don't know, with that blaster, with that new S-Blast just being awful, having an awful kit, I mean, yeah, Sloshing Machine makes sense. Because that's the crazy thing about Bucket. Every Bucket is good, except for Bubbler, but then Bubbler may not be a good weapon, but I think Bubbler is super fun to play. It's not good, but it's fun. Oh my god. You know, 1 good hit would have gotten all 4 of us out right there. Soda! Da, 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 da. So yeah, I've been playing a little bit of Splatoon, not much, but I've been playing a little bit. The other game I've been playing is Ocarina of Time. I've been playing Ocarina of Time. I did beat it finally. I still really enjoy it. You know, I didn't do 100% playthrough or anything. I got maybe I got probably 8 heart pieces the whole game. So 2 heart containers. I think I beat the game with somewhere over 30 golden Skulltulas. I want to say there were like 100. So I think I beat the game with like 30. I don't know. I was going for that wallet upgrade. And I had no idea how many you actually needed for the wallet upgrade. I know the first one was like 10, but I didn't know after that. Because I had so much fucking money in that game. Because your max, you originally start off with a wallet that holds, I want to say 99 or 100. And then the first wallet upgrade holds 200. And I never got past that. But I probably wasted at least $1,000. Because I know at one point I got like 2 big rupees, each worth 200. I know I got so many 50s that I always wasted. Because, yeah, you just don't get a bigger wallet fast enough. Or at least not how I was playing. Yeah. So last time I think we talked about Ocarina, I had done the water temple, up till the water temple. And, you know, I actually doing the spirit temple and the shadow temple again. I like the fact that you have to go back to the past to do those. Right? You have to go back to the past to get the Lens of Truth for the shadow temple. And you have to go back to the past to do the first half of the spirit temple. And then you come back to the future and you do the second half. That's actually, the spirit temple is that's very neat. I like that. I like doing it as a kid, then coming back and basically being able to do the other half. That's cool. So there was the shadow, there was those. Still don't like the bottom of the well. Not because I find it scary or anything. I just get so easily lost in the bottom of the well. Like, it's so easy to just get completely lost and not know where you're going. And, you know, you keep... I guess maybe lost isn't the right word. I think I'd say it's better when that it's so easy to keep falling down the pit. And having to climb back up that ladder. Yeah, I probably fell down like 5 or 6 times. Because I just kept jumping into holes. But, you know, I figured it out. I remembered you had to drain the water. And then I just had to find the right place to do it. For some reason, I remember you had to drain the water at one of those weird, like, face paintings on the wall. But no, it's at, like, where the water starts. And then the Shadow Temple itself. You know, I talked last week or 2 weeks ago how good the water temple was. How, right, it's actually, like, it makes you think about, like, its puzzle design. It's very creative. It's a very creative dungeon. The Shadow Temple is literally the exact opposite. It is literally the most generic, straightforward, follow the path dungeon. It still has its cool moments. I like the boat ride for as simple as it is. I think you only fight like 3 enemies on the boat. I still do like it though. It's a memorable moment. Bongo Bongo is still a stupid boss. Yeah, that hasn't changed. Yeah, so the Shadow Temple, design-wise, it's whatever. I don't even know if there is outside of having to use the Lens of Truth, I don't even think there's an actual puzzle in the Shadow Temple. And then the Spirit... Right, I like the Spirit Temple. I like going to the past, coming back to the future. Again, it's mostly straightforward. I don't think you have to do, like, any backtracking or anything. But, you know, I did it handedly, and then, yeah. And then from there, you go on. I completely forgot about the gold gauntlets. Because I remember you get the silver gauntlets from the from the Spirit Temple. And then I completely forgot the gold gauntlets were a thing. So, but yeah, I did that. Other than that, Ganon's Tower was easy. Beat that, and then I beat the game. Yeah. I wanted to do the Bigoron sword. There's always that debate. Is it Hydrocity or is it Hydrocity? It's Hydrocity, by the way. However, the one that I do have my contest on is Bigoron versus Big Goron. Like, I could see the arguments both ways, and I always call it Bigoron. But yeah, I wanted to do, because I've never actually done the Big Goron sword quest. You know, I bought the sword, broke it immediately, and that was it. But I was kind of like, you know, maybe I should finally do it this time. And then I just didn't. And then I just beat the game. Because I actually would have to look things up for that, and I didn't want to. But no, I still do really like Ocarina of Time. I enjoyed my time with it. Definitely recommend the 3DS version. Oh my gosh, it's like... I know I've only played the N64 version once and never actually beat the N64 version. But the 3DS version, it plays how you want it to play. The gyroscope aiming works well. It's just an all-around very solid port of the game. Now, am I going to play the 3DS version of Majora's Mask? I don't know. I don't know about that. And then after that, am I going to replay Wind Waker or Twilight Princess? I might replay Wind Waker. I probably wouldn't replay Twilight Princess. Yeah, I have very little... And I don't need to play Skyward... I played Skyward Sword either last year or 2 years ago. What was it, 2 years ago now, I think? I don't need to replay Skyward Sword. But I could see myself replaying Wind Waker, just because it's been a while. If there was a Switch port, totally I'd do it. But that is supposedly just sitting in a vault somewheres. And, I mean, we're playing Tears of the Kingdom now. However, I can only play Tears of the Kingdom on stream. And most of the time, I'm not streaming. But the time we have been playing it on stream, I have been really enjoying it. And yeah, that's it. That's all. I haven't played anything else. Still haven't touched Advanced Wars. There was some game on sale where I was like, oh, that might be interesting to pick up on like the Switch eShop. But I just didn't do. I didn't pick anything up. So yeah. The only other thing I did do. So, Into the Spider-Verse comes out in a little bit. In like 2 weeks. And they did a promotion with Burger King where they're doing a Red Whopper. And now, the last time they did a Red Whopper, they did like an Angry Whopper. That was like a Spicy Whopper. And I actually really enjoyed that Spicy Whopper. It was probably the last time I like really enjoyed Burger King. That was, God, that was what, like 2017? And then, you know, but you know, I went to Burger King like last year for the first time in a while. That might have been 2 years ago now that I think about it. I don't know, I'd been to Burger King more recently. And I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go try this. There was like a deal or something. Where it was like, you can get the Spider-Verse Whopper, a fries, a soda, and like a little like ice cream sundae that's also Spider-Verse themed for like $8. And I was like, yeah, you know, I need something to do for lunch today. I might as well. Red Whopper was fine. You know, it tasted like a Whopper. I think they used a different cheese. Wasn't anything that special. The sundae was a scoop of ice cream, but it had like these little like red and I don't know, they looked black to me, but they might have been blue. Had like these little like bits of candy in them. I thought they were cereal. That was my original thought. It's like, oh, these are like cereal bits. But then you actually try them. No, they're chocolate. They remind me of like those crunch candies. That's probably not the best comparison. There's probably a better one. But that's what I'd say they remind me of. The Nestle Crunch. So yeah, it's like a little just, you know, simple ice cream sundae with Nestle Crunch in it. You know, it's nothing that special, but I tried it, you know. You know me, I'm always down to try weird food. I tried those dark chocolate cake Oreos. Nah, my favorite Oreo at the moment is they do a peanut butter chocolate Oreo. Peanut butter chocolate's already a great combination. Peanut butter chocolate Oreo. Oh my gosh. I could so easily just eat an entire package of those. Oh my gosh. But you know, that's why I stopped buying them. They're too good. I had to stop, so I did. But those are fucking great. So this is probably going to be our last match. So, what is the plan here coming up? So, the plan is tomorrow we'll be back with more Tears of the Kingdom. I'd love to go for another 5-6 hours tomorrow. And then I think the next time we'll be back is Friday? Maybe Thursday. I don't know. We're going to be, I will say maybe Thursday. Definitely Friday, because I have Friday off. I have Friday off, and I would love to play Tears of the Kingdom for, however long I can on that day. Definitely not, it's probably going to end up being another, 6-hour stream. But, if it's longer than that, cool. Cool beans. Probably won't be, but it might. I don't know. I don't remember what my longest ever stream is. I know it was a Skyblock stream, but we might have beaten that at some point. But I don't think so. So it would be neat to be like, yep, we're going to beat my longest ever stream. I don't know, maybe I'll look it up after this match, because I think it's a Skyblock stream. Back when I was playing Skyblock 3. Way back in, 2017. So that'd be neat. But yeah, that's the plan at the moment. We're going to continue on with that. Love to, I don't think we'll beat the game, but we're definitely not going to beat the game. I'd be amazed if we beat the game in under 70 hours. Because I looked it up because I was curious how long it took us to beat Breath of the Wild. To beat the game and all of its DLC was about 60 hours. It was somewhere between 55 and 60. I'm not entirely sure, but it's somewhere between that. I didn't look up to, the exact minute. But yeah. So it's definitely going to take us... I don't think it's going to take us 100. It might, but I don't think it is. If I had to guess, it's going to be about 70. But 70's not bad. But yeah, we're going to be working on Tears of the Kingdom probably through June. Yeah, we're going to work on the game through June. And I think I've already said after Tears of the Kingdom, we're doing Stanley Parable. And then Pikmin? I think it's Pikmin. Because Pikmin 4 comes out sometime in mid-July. And, my pattern at the moment seems to be play an old game and then play the new one, right? We played Pokemon Sword and Shield, Scarlet and Violet came out. We played Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom came out. So we're going to play Pikmin 3, Pikmin 4 comes out. I'd also love to play Pikmin's 1 and 2. I know we can do Pikmin 1 in a day. Pikmin 1 is a short... I think you can beat Pikmin 1 in 3 to 4 hours. So I think Pikmin 1 would take a day. Pikmin 2 is so much longer. So yeah, look at it. We're A+ rank 1073. Just under the 11,000 needed. 27 points away. It might give us a piece of gear. So I think I figured out how, without looking it up or anything, I'm convinced how the gear works is based on the number of games you, online matches you play. Right? You get a piece of gear, then you go play a bunch of online matches in, the next day or whatever. I don't know how many it is. I haven't done any specific testing. But I'm pretty sure it has something to do with the amount of online matches you play. That's the most logical explanation I can find. It still amazes me how many things we don't have. But we got all the shoes. I don't know. It's nice that we're now... I just realized we didn't check harmonies. It's nice that we're now over 100k in money. We were so poor for so long. But I've been saving up. Hey, look, it's the Ultra Hand. Oh, wow. I haven't been in here in a while. Shows an sidekick. We got Big Man! Whoa. Blub, blub, blub. What does this remind me of? I don't know. She was using the Ultra Hand. I'm excited for this game's DLC. It definitely is not going to be until September. But, that's going to be cool. I hope we get a Nintendo Direct in the next month. I'd be so disappointed. I could see Nintendo waiting until the end of June. Right, like that. If I had to guess a date. Let me look at a calendar real quick. I would not be surprised if they wait until, like, June 22nd. Maybe even June 21st. I could see them doing that. But, God, I hope we get a Nintendo Direct soon. But, yeah, and I mean an actual Direct, not just a mini. Not just a mini. Yeah. But yeah, so yeah, we'll be back with Tears of the Kingdom. I'm so excited to play more. I'm loving it right now. In the depth, the sky, the depths below. So much to do, so much to see. So what's wrong with taking the back streets? You know, you'll never know where you don't go. You'll never shine if you don't glow? Something like that, I don't know. No, there's so much to do. There's so much. But yeah, I'm scared to go to the underground. Because we can go down, but we just don't have a way out. And me making a bike didn't work. It only got us so far up. Yeah. I'm so disappointed that rock didn't work. I thought that was going to be so clever. I wonder if we could use a wooden platform. The problem is just riding it. Riding it back up. But I totally feel like that would work. There's definitely a lot of experimenting to do. I'm loving it. I'm loving Tears of the Kingdom, man. It's so good. And I'm liking this game at the moment, but by next week we may come in and I may be completely burned out. You know, we'll see. We'll see how hard it is to get those 27 points. You know, it might be a disaster. Or it may not be. You know, you never know. But yeah, with that, I hope you all enjoyed. Stay tuned for more. Until next time, peace.